So what's good? We just did a gateway tape. This is us logging in our experiences and shit. Don't mind the messy room a little bit, but hold on. Let me go ahead and get my phone, nigga, so I can tell you all that. So I typed it down in ChatGPT already. And so this is not only just for me, but this is for y'all too, to see how powerful these gateway tapes is. Cause ever since I started doing these bitches, nigga, I've been unlocking shit. You see this right here, this Boruto tat, nigga? Is that showing that divinity, that inner truth, nigga, that motherfucking DNA core strand that we getting remembering. Cause you ain't this flesh suit. You is spirit. So anyway, let's look at this motherfucker. So this episode, it was the second wave of the gateway tapes, and it was the problem solving. So it was about asking your inner self pretty much the questions to answers that you seek. So lately, just a little bit of a background, I've been hearing a good bit that a divine counterpart is coming. Now granted, this is gonna sound crazy, y'all. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna have, and I already do have in the quantum realm, because if I had the idea, that means I already have it to be brought down to this motherfucker 5D to 3D. 16 wives. That's tentative, because that shit might go up. Who knows? Anyways. But one of the motherfuckers shall be delivered here soon, because as me being an Aquarius sun and a Cancer North Node / moon, meaning very, very intuitive and psychic, and at the same time masculine as a motherfucker, but also super hella logical. So I got like the best of both worlds. Well, my masculine essence has been getting fed the fuck up lately, because it's like, my nigga, we can't keep doing this shit dolo. This shit sucks ass. And coming from somebody who's cut off all family, who's cut off most friends, who were really just people who like being around what they could provide versus who the fuck I really was, and past karmic situations of females, right? So, some of the questions that we asked and we went through, let me go ahead and talk to y'all last about this shit real quick. Was one of them, we asked about pretty much the grid. And when I say the grid is my definition of the matrix. What do I mean by the matrix? Okay. The ones and zeros that are coded into everything that is what you see, because there's even experiments that show that what we see is different based off of each one of us's beliefs. Radical idealism is the terminology I like to live by of it, but it's the actual terminology that a scientific experiment proved through how light bends and is seen differently whenever awareness is put to that light, right? So based off each awareness, based off what each awareness of each individual sees, that light will conform differently for that person, right? Okay. So the questions we asked were just pertaining to, like, you know, right now when I'm doing YouTube, we started out with TikTok. I got like 59K on TikTok, and on Instagrams I had 8K, but I deleted that account because it had stagnant ass energy to it. And we restarted and encoded it with higher dimensional frequencies to attract and not be pushing from lack. Because that's the biggest thing that we've been digesting lately is abundance, lack. When you can boil everything in life to that shit, abundance and lack. It's not good and bad. It's not good and evil. It's not fucking any of that shit. It's abundance and serving and lack and non-serving. Which one? Right? So a previous gateway tape, we found out that the code in the main matrix mainframe is this stupid ass shit right here. Time. Why, you might ask? And this is what had me pissed off, what made me even do the gateway tape to begin with. The time paradox and spell of what it is, of how it influences our day-to-day lives, is fucking crazy. Because think about it. Well, for my personal example to tell you, or maybe you watching this have a certain experience, whenever you don't have your phone, whenever you just in the moment having fun like a motherfucker, and when you just in life, the day goes by substantially slower. It does. Versus whenever you check, like, think about it like this. Think about whenever you at work and how the day goes so slow. But it seems whenever you go home, time go fast as fuck, right? You're like, God damn, I'm already back at work. It's that time paradox, right? It's that time fucking illusion. The reason why the Matrix, aka the lack, I don't call them the elite, because what's elite about being in lack? Because if you were truly abundant, you wouldn't have to siphon off of everybody else. Duh, makes fucking logical sense. So I'm like, okay, we notice how they make time a part of every aspect of your life. It's on your fucking phone. It's on your fucking watch, Apple Watches. It's on your actual damn watch. It's on fucking clock towers. It's in every fucking store you go to. It's fucking everywhere. It's in your language, right? Oh, we don't have enough time. How long it take to get there? How long will something come? When will blah, 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 blah. Notice how every sentence almost damn near always in some way, shape, form, or fashion, low key, always time goes back to time, okay? We were aware of that because when we first went to Focus 12, we saw this grid. Literally, like, imagine like one of them fucking, them charts that you put on the X and the Y axis, right? With the squares and the lines that go like this, X and Y, right? Okay. And we saw it. So my spirit self was pushing against it. I was like, what the fuck is this? That's when we first learned, like, no, shit, nigga, the grid is for real. So we watched the Matrix movies after that. I've never watched the Matrix movies in my entire life, nigga. Well, I think once as a kid, but I don't even remember it so much so to even give you worth a damn of what it was about. So I watched it for real. And I was like, damn. I'm like, nigga, this shit real life. Oh my goddamn. Me being, and I'm not even gonna say it, right? Because even age, when you talk about your age, right? Oh, I'm blank, blank, blank years old. See that? Look at that. Blank, blank, blank. For me, example, I'm 24 years. See that? Old. That's a fucking spell. That's you telling yourself you old, which makes you get older. Versus, and before I continue, whenever people go around you and chant, happy birthday, how old are... Nigga, that's a whole ritual, nigga. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? So, we were aware of that time shit because we had a fucking alien meet us. I think it was a Pleiadian. And he was guiding me through it. He was like, okay. Because I was inside the grid at first. And I was trying, and we were pushing against it. But then we fucking pierced through it. We did like this. We pushed through and we opened that bitch. And we stepped out. He was like, so the alien was like, what the fuck you see out there? I'm like, nothing. This is black. He's like, exactly. Step your ass outside there. I'm like, okay. So I get the fuck up outside that bitch. And I'm just seeing black nothingness. So I'm like, okay, where am I at now? He's like, you're at where you're supposed to be at. No thing. Look at the terminology. No thing. Not nothing. No thing. Meaning limitless potential. Limitless energy, motherfucker. What we really is. I was like, oh, shit. He's like, yeah. Because when I tried to, because while we were in the grid, because I was curious, I was like, can I go back in there or will I get stuck? He's like, try it out. So I went back in there. I'm like, okay. And I was able to get back out. So I was like, okay, cool. Okay, so this is like an in and out thing. All right, okay. So I was like, He was like, manifest something in the grid. So I'm like, okay, I manifested like this fucking AN-94, right? On some Call of Duty shit. If you know, it's similar to an AK-47 if most people don't know what the fuck that is. Anyways, so he's like, okay, shoot the grid. So I shot the grid, right? And it was bouncing off. I was like, okay. He's like, okay, so now go outside the grid. So I went back outside the grid, okay. So he's like, okay, manifest again. Anything. So I did another AN-94. This time I had the fucking grenade launcher on that bitch, right? He's like, okay, now shoot again at the fucking code, aka the Matrix. I said, okay. The grid, right? So I shot at it. It started to pierce through. So I was like, He was like, exactly. They put us inside their grid because their grid, they can control it and they can code it to wherever the fuck they want to. Example, time, right? Notice how you go to school, they teach you all fucking indoctrination because it ain't nothing worth it a fucking damn. If you know, you know. If you don't, now you know. Whether you want to accept that or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you the fucking truth. Anyway, so when you go to school, that's their first introductory terms all the way up. Because notice how you got 12 grades. Interesting. Focus 12 grades. You can finally see the grid in Focus 12 versus you being in 12 grades of indoctrination. Interesting. Any fucking way. So as I'm outside this grid, to tie it back to the story now, and we shot through, I'm like, So when you manifest outside of the grid, meaning outside of limitations of what they put on you, which is time, which is fucking their programming, when you go back to limitless no thing, you then become everything because there's duality in those all, right? We all are good and we all are bad. It just depends on what the fuck you choose, because we are so powerful, we can choose to be fucking not powerful. Right. So now tying this into how today's lesson in the gateway of the problem solving, this time when we looked at the grid, I set the intention because the problem I was like, okay, I want to understand the grid more. So bring me to the grid. So I got back in front of the grid. Okay, in Focus 12. So I'm in front of the grid now. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck going on? All right. And my inner intuition and my higher wisdom self that I was asking, my awareness, me, or I, should I say. Me is, I associate me, whenever I say me is the flesh. Whenever I say I is the God, higher version of myself, right? This is what it is. Because anytime you say anything after I is a command to your subconscious, and it does it immediately. So I was like, okay, I wish and I am seeing the grid now. So I'm back at the grid at this point, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm standing in front of this shit. And they're like, look closer. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to look closer, because if you are aware enough to see, have you ever looked and closed your eyes and you see all them red ass dots? You go, what the fuck is that? Right? I recently got, because I, as a kid, would always see that. Hell, even if you open your eyes, you can still see the red dots if you're paying attention. Those red dots is something called photosynthesis. In my opinion, that is the particles and that is the atoms. That is one God that is fucking everything, right? So at first I was seeing the photosphere and the particles and the atoms. If you don't know what that is, search the shit up. I'm not gonna sit here and take my time fucking explain it. If you wanna know, you can fucking go figure it out. If not, I don't know to tell you last. Anyway, I look deeper into the photosphere and then I see the grid come back up. I'm like, okay. So this time I manifest outside the grid, of course, the Dagger of Time, Prince of Persia. If you don't know what that is, the Dagger of Time is an ancient artifact from Persia, aka fucking the Middle East, aka close to damn Egypt, that can help you to rewind time and put shit slower while you're aware of such. But everything outside of yourself isn't aware that you're aware, or you pull back time. Only you are of that awareness, right? That is similar to actual real life of how shit actually works of real time, because there is no past, present, future. If you watch Marvels and the Avengers and all that shit, how they talk about, you know, the quantum realm and all that shit, you like, oh my God, that shit is cool as fuck. No, nigga, that's real. They're telling you the fucking truth. It's told in so many different fictions to make you think it's not real when it is real. So I put the Dagger of Time in the grid and I set the intention to disrupt the grid. Nigga, the whole grid was fucking glitching. I was like, God damn, okay. And I looked on top of the grid, the other axis of it was disconnect. So I was like, because where I am right now, I'm in London, UK. So I'm like, interesting. There is time and then disconnect. This is their grid. Here, at least. It could be different in different areas based off different coding. But right here, for where I'm at now, the main coding of the matrix's period is time. Okay. Because that's tied to fucking everything. The second half here is fucking disconnect. Think about it. If you're disconnected from your thoughts, your own intuition, your body, your fucking sense of self, or who you are, not this flesh suit, fucking spirit, right? If you're disconnected from the signs, if you're disconnected from God, which is everything, which is creation, which is fucking your ass, because you are a creator, you create shit, right? If you're disconnected from people, places, right? Environments. Hell, even sometimes taking your own awareness outside of yourself and you just running on fucking autopilot all fucking day. That impacts us in so many different ways, forms, and fashion every day. It's fucking ridiculous. You get me? Cool. So I'm like, interesting. It's disconnect of what it is here. And nigga, they be fucking doing weather control out this bitch all the time. I be seeing fucking drones spraying the sky. Like right now, show you. It's fucking nice and pretty outside, right? Look right there. Let me show you. You see that shit? It's part of that fucking weather control I'm talking about, okay? They also have deep ties to fucking witchcraft and all type of shit over here, right? And in my opinion, the other day when I went out, the sky was absolutely gray, right? I'm looking up at the photosphere, the red little dots, and I noticed it was like a little like wider dot, but it was moving all like this. It was moving weirdly. I said, what the fuck? But when I looked down back at the earth on the 3D fully, it wasn't like that. It was only the red dots. So I was like, that's the code. That's what the code looks like in real life. Dead ass, right? So tying it back to this story of me being in Focus 12, of asking questions in the Gateway tapes, right? By me disrupting that shit and setting that intention, meaning with myself, and the bringing it from 5D, my awareness, down to 3D, this flesh shoot, we're like, when we move on our own time, divine time, because God's time looks completely fucking different from man's time. Like the origin for why time is the way it is to fucking begin with is because it predates when they made the calendar to make people remember when to pay fucking taxes and when to pay the church the offering. What's the shit called? Tithes, yeah. Right. That was the literally main purpose why they made that shit. Dead ass. Right? So, on top of this, they have daylight savings. It used to be 13 calendar months. If you check in other older texts and older Bibles, they even have the calendar in there. It used to be 13 months. They constantly are changing time all the time. There's a video online. There's someone who had their phone that they didn't update since it was like 2011. You can search this video up for yourself. There's plenty of people that have similar videos. And they proved that the dates of the phones when it wasn't tampered with and updated was way different than what the fuck the time is on the phone that they was looking at that was updated. Meaning they do speed up time and slow it down whenever the fuck they feel like it. So you telling me I'm gonna go off of some shit that I already know who are lying ass, condescending, fucking egotistic, narcissistic ass motherfuckers that control all this shit, that are in lack, meaning they don't think that they're truly abundant, meaning they have to steal it from everybody else. Why? It's because that's why it happens. Because if you were truly abundant, if you were truly knowing that you were limitless, if you truly are in the known that you are fucking God and you're fucking everything and you can bring anything to life and to fruition, you wouldn't feel the fucking need to do that dumbass shit. Now, would you? No. It's like if you go to the store and you have fucking 100 grand, you not tripping about what the fuck you spending. But if you go in there with like probably, 50, $100, you probably like, oh shit. Right? Trying to make that bitch stretch. You know what I'm saying? It's the same, similar. So bringing it back now to the story, now I got the point to ask myself a question. So I could have asked myself a question about this divine counterpart coming, but that showed myself for my own divinity to know. My own inner intuition and my own higher wisdom self was like, you really don't want to know. I was like, you're right. Why? Because that sets off the timeline. When you are aware of certain shit, you move differently than if you didn't know it when it happens. For example, if you're a dude or if you're a guy, a girl, and the opposite counterpart comes to you without you knowing, you're like, oh shit, damn, okay, right? And shit moves naturally, shit feels better. When you kind of have a knowing about shit, not to say that it might not move that same exact way, but now the dynamics are changed because you knew versus if you did not know. You get what I'm saying? So that was kind of like a reflection to myself to say, like, you don't want to know because you truly don't want to know, because you know that will fuck up the timeline of the true essence of the quantum realm. Now, granted, it's never to be afraid of fucking up the quantum realm, of making a quote unquote mistake, because you don't never make mistakes. Because God always branches out to a higher timeline. So if you make a mistake, he actually uses that mistake to make you actually better than if you didn't make that damn mistake. So they're always going to be serving and good for you in the end. It's just how you look at it and how you choose to look at it, because you got choice. You have the power of choice, right? It's like you have the power to go on their dumbass time, right? Rushing. Because think about manipulators and a toxic boyfriend or a toxic ex, or of a girl, if you're a boy or a guy, it don't matter. Excuse me, boy or a girl, excuse me. Imagine that toxic ex archetype. Notice how they need to lie. They need to fucking get you confused. They need to get you anxious. They need to get you disconnected. See how that word comes back? Why? That lets them be able to mentally and emotionally manipulate your ass behind the scenes. Because when you're not rooted in yourself, of your actual own energy, when you're not rooted in your own intuition, when you're not rooted in your own thoughts, when you're not rooted in your own fucking awareness, someone else can hijack your shit. And that's the purpose, right? So on top of this is a little trick, if people don't know this, to end this out. My higher self, I asked another question. It was about some shit that I was manifesting, like a fit, right? For some modeling and shit. And he was like, well, why don't I just show you? So if you ever wish to see into the future, which is just now, because the only time you have is right now. If you wish to see or talk to your future self, imagine a door. Like a light ass door, or just a regular door. And when you open this door, on the other side of it is whatever you're attempting to see. So I went through this door and I was able to see my future self, because there is no future self. It's just the quantum realm. Time is not linear, like how they fucking say. They make it linear because if it's linear, then they make you walk in a straight line to where they want your ass to go, right? Okay. But at times like this, which it is, then they don't got no what? Control over it. Exactly. Just like in Avengers. Remember how they was like, oh shit. Oh, you go back this point, and you go back this point, and you go back this point. And notice how certain people went at certain places, but certain people weren't able to. They fucked it up, and you know what I'm saying? Notice how Ant-Man got fucking lost in the sauce when he didn't understand how that shit worked. But then as he did later on, then in the movie he came out in Endgame, he's like, oh shit, let me tell y'all how this shit works, right? So as this door that you can visualize and you have inside your mind, because your mind actually is the doorway to the quantum realm. That's what your third eye is. That's what that shit is. That's why they have the eye of Horus. It looks exactly like your fucking pineal gland. That is literally, you have a concentrated amount of the universe in your head. That's your projector. That's what comes out of your fucking eyes, which are black holes. Because you absorb light, but at the same time, you project light as well. That's why you got white and dark fucking eyes. Yeah, nigga. So you can perceive shit based off what the fuck you think, and you also can receive shit. You know what I'm saying? Out and in. It's a duality. It's a duality in fucking everything. Right? So to finally close this off, use that door if you wish to speak to your future self, your higher self, see some shit in the future, because that helped answer a question. He was like, here, he was like, go in this door. I didn't even visualize it. He told me to go through the damn door. I was like, oh shit. But that's a practice that I've been doing before already. So it's already ingrained in just my essence of my being at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I go to that motherfucker and I see me. And I see me with the shit I was talking about. I was like, oh shit. So, okay, something going to shake at some point. I don't need to know how I get it, because that's going to fuck up how I get it. You see what I'm talking about? So I'm like, okay, I'm open. All right, it's going to come some way, shape, form, or fashion. We're going to get that bitch shaking. All right, cool. Fantastic. Right? And as we disconnect out of it, the last thing I was able to see, I finally was able to see the ones and the zeros. Once I pulled the shit out, it kind of got to a point where it was attempting to get to equilibrium. As it went to that equilibrium, I saw the ones and the zeros. I was like, Why is that important? Because ones and zeros are the foundational aspect of that shit. Like, for example, whenever you're in coding and computer or like video games, if y'all like that shit, Y'all ever wonder how they able to make exact replicas of bodies, like even before they started scanning people, right? For them to even do that, there are ones and zeros in that place. If you search up and see how certain things are put on the internet, it's always in different characters and shit. Like if you just look at it as it is, you're like, what the fuck is all these random ass words and random ass characters and random ass ones and zeros? You're like, what the fuck? Hell, even when they first introduced the computer, it had ones and zeros in it. Because that's a computer, and this phone, for example, is just more different versions of computerized and humans putting the ones into zeros in a certain way to where they made shit based off how they wish to make it. That's all. You have that same ability. It may not look like the ones and the zeros and all the weird ass characters, but from a no thing standpoint, it operates in so many different ways, in different fashions. It just depends on how you wish to go about it. That's just one way, ones and zeros. Another way is fucking different characters. Another way is different fucking visualizations. Another way is different fucking ways of you speaking it out. Because speaking is a form of code, which is spelling. Spell, because we wizards, ing. The act of casting spells. Meaning the act of bending reality based off what you say. I know you who watching this have said something in life and immediately right after, at some form or fashion, whether it was something big or something small or medium, it immediately happened. You're like, damn, what the fuck? Yeah, because reality bends to you. It's not the other way around. They have to make you think it's the other way around because there are motherfuckers that think it's the opposite way around. And what they say, misery loves company. So you think, it's kind of like, imagine like one of your friends, and I know most people probably have had this experience to end this off. You know how you had that friend that was like low-key kind of player hating because you got something that they got or something that they wanted to get, but you got that shit way easier than how they got it. And it was kind of sitting there kind of low-key salty, like, that's literally the lack, what y'all refer to as the elite. But it's nothing elite about people that are in lack minds so that to fucking steal from people in so many different ways. Energetically, financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, labor, all that shit. So, yeah. That was my gateway experience, tying it in to manifestation and tying it into quantum realization and spiritual actualization, actualizing your spirit, your no thingness, your everything, because that is the same duality. And that's how I shall end it off. Like, comment, subscribe. If you wish to learn how to keep this shit popping, let me know. Do that shit down there. Don't be no weird ass motherfucker just staring at motherfuckers. That shit's weird. Might as well goddamn collaborate instead of disassociate, disconnect. See that? You're doing exactly what the fuck they want you to do. If not, it's okay. It doesn't matter because the right motherfucker's gonna come regardless. I don't give a fuck. This is more so for me. Yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe, share, be good. And we got another motherfucking video coming for your ass the next time we do this shit. I don't know when, sometime, at some point. I don't know. But, yeah. Holla.